Lloyd Emopai. He is our next presenter. His company is called LASARRUS, and it's introducing us to a product called Wear Me, which is a groundbreaking wearable device designed to transform the lives of those with COPD, to transform patient care by enabling precise, real-time lung function monitoring remotely. Tell us more, Lloyd.
Awesome. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, everyone. Well, good evening, everyone, ladies and gentlemen and children. It's nice being here. So I'm Lloyd with LASARRUS, and my team and I developed the world's first wearable, convenient and cost-effective alternative to traditional spirometry designed for effective management of those with chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, which I'll refer to from now on as COPD. So at this point, I'd like you to imagine Jan. So Jan lives with COPD, and unfortunately for Jan, every breath is a challenge. And even more unfortunate, when Jan experiences an exacerbation, she has to take a trip to the hospital, she has to be readmitted to the hospital, and also she has to perform a spirometry test, and she needs to get the treatment that she needs. The challenge is, spirometry is very expensive, it is time-consuming, and very difficult for Jan to perform, given her condition. Unfortunately, this is not only unique to Jan, but affects millions of people with COPD, just like Jan. While introducing Wear Me by LASARRUS, a convenient, cost-effective, passive acoustic alternative to spirometry designed for daily use. The purpose of this is to help now with lung function to be done remotely or at the hospital. My friends, this is the future of respiratory care, providing real-time monitoring to both the patient and the providers, now preventing exacerbations and reducing hospital readmissions. So when we look at the market, we see that we are under the global remote patient monitoring market, and it's right now it's a booming market. It's projected to hit $117 billion by 2025, and LASARRUS is uniquely positioned in this growth, targeting a $1.4 billion slice. And if you mind, I'm gonna just brag a little bit, if that's okay. So with over $10 million in potential revenue from secured pilot agreements, and over $2.5 million in secured SBIR grants, and the portfolio of issued and pending patents, we're not just promising, we are performing. You see, the Wear Me system is the only device in the market that's a gateway to effective COPD management that is reducing the cost of healthcare by up to 90%. Furthermore, the Wear Me device is the only device in the market that's offering remote pulmonary function testing that is customized towards activities of daily living. To put it into perspective, a custom spirometer costs upwards of $6,000 with added professional fees, where the Wear Me device costs only $400 with no added professional fees. Furthermore, when you look at the competitive landscape, we found that our Wear Me solution sets itself apart from the competition. So really, our competitive edge is clear. We have a patented technology, it's unparalleled ease of use, and it has comprehensive monitoring capabilities. Our business model is also clear and also impactful. You see, the Wear Me is prescribed by pulmonologists or doctors, delivered directly to the patient's home, with the cost of the device covered by major insurance entities like Medicare and Medicaid. And as we grow, our dual revenue from both our hardware sales, with the blue line, and the remote patient monitoring sales promises substantial growth. Our vision for COPD is a world where COPD management is not only reactive, but we're now being proactive. I am blessed to be surrounded by a strong and diverse team, all with a passion to impact COPD management for the better. I would say I'm the better looking of all of them here, if that's okay. But our team blends expertise with wearable technology, medical solutions, therapeutic practice, legal, finance, quality, software development, quality management, UX design, and more. We're also blessed to be backed by experienced advisors and experts in the industry. Some of our partners include Johns Hopkins, my alma mater, UMBC, if anyone in UMBC in the house, TEDCO, and as well as Harbor Designs and Tidal Health. So at this juncture, I would like to invite everyone to be part of something great. So by joining our upcoming clinical study, which is going to be kicking off in the summer of this year, or sharing our study with anyone who you know could be affected with COPD, you are joining us in our mission to help enhance COPD patients' quality of life, reduce hospitalization costs and readmissions, and help more families spend more time with their loved ones again. Please scan the QR code and breathe hope into lives. Thank you.
Breathe hope into lives. I love that. That's wonderful. Okay, let's start with our panel of judges. Questions?
You want to give them the mic?
Yeah. Software that's necessary for the people receiving the information.
Is there software necessary for the people receiving the information?
Yes, there's a software. There's two software that's designed with it. There's the mobile app on the patient side, and then that's sent over to the cloud, and the provider has a dashboard that they see. So we have a dashboard that we provide to the provider through our RPM service, and we have a whole different slew of business model where I mentioned we can hire our own nurses to provide reports to the provider. So we have the dashboard side on the provider and the mobile app on the patient side. Thanks for the question.
I may have missed it, but are you raising around how much money do you need and what do you hope to accomplish with it?
Yeah, thanks for the question. I know for this, I asked how many investors will be here. I said less than 10%. So I didn't want to make it all about raising, but we are raising around. We are right now doing a $500 pre-seed extension. We've currently raised about $200,000 in that. So we're looking for investors to help us close our round. So I hope that answers your question. Thank you.
Can you elaborate on the timelines for the development? You mentioned you're running a clinical study. How long till regulatory approval? What does that pathway look like?
Absolutely. Thanks for the question. So we've actually done some clinical studies. We had 3 meetings with the FDA so far. So we're about 80% through our study. We've had enough data to at least power our final study. The study in the summer will allow us to perform some more usability testing, as well as to get the endpoints we need to ensure that our device is equivalent to all the gold standards out there, like spirometry or capnograph, as I mentioned. So the funding we're raising, as well as the grants that's going to be coming in from NIH, will support that study. Thank you. Thanks for the question.
Any more questions from the judges?
You mentioned you won some SIBRs.
Sorry?
You said SIBR, you had
Yes, this summer.
SIBR. You
SIBR,
it.
yes. Yeah, SBIR.
What phases?
So it's a fast track, phase 1 and a phase 2. The phase 1 will support our first FDA clearance, and then the phase 2 will support our second FDA clearance. Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Anyone from the audience like to ask a question? Okay, here in the back, sir. Okay, great.
I love your product.
Thank you.
Are you looking at any interoperability between other wearable devices in conjunction with your device?
That's a great question. In fact, we've been essentially contemplating integrating other wearables like Fitbits into our platform, and that's something we'd like to do post FDA clearance. We'd like to start talking to some of the big players in the wearable space that don't have solutions for COPD, just to see how we can integrate to their solutions. But that's something future down the road, and more of a partnerships and potential acquisition down the road. Thanks for the question.
Would love to sort of understand your partnering strategy. Have you thought about collaborations with hospitals and or pharma for this product?
Yeah, so that's a great point. So there's 2 strategies we could have taken. We could have gone through pharma, and we could have gone to the hospitals and reimbursements. So our go-to-market is to go to hospitals, have the hospitals prescribe it, and that route. But in conjunction, we are also considering pharma. One of the good things about pharma is you can actually work with them in their clinical studies, and to use our tool as their sort of the monitoring tool to help with drug development and such. So that's one of the things we're looking to do after we get our first FDA clearance, is to have our device be the gold standard for testing new medications for new COPD treatments. We feel it'll be easier for us to approach them once we get our clearance, versus to come in at the stage where they might maybe be a little bit more risky. So absolutely, that's a great opportunity for us as well.
Great. We have time for one more. Anybody else? Okay, yes.
Great product. So the hospital would be introducing it to the patient. So is there also kind of plan as far as like with the ease of use for it? You mentioned as far as like breathing. So as far as like, I guess training patients on how to use it, as well as their caregivers as well. Is that kind of built into your process?
Absolutely, great question. Actually, it's part of our study in the summer. Is built in as usability studies, is to make sure that the patients can use it. We've actually done some preliminary usability studies, and we've used that to help sort of set the stage for the final study. So we're going to have to make sure that the doctors can use the dashboard properly, the patients can wear it properly, the software is easy to use, they can find the buttons and everything properly. So all of that metrics we've already sort of specified, and we'll be testing that finally in the summer. Great question.
Thank you. Let's give him a round of applause.